Hey everybody, it's Wayne D. Welcome to the website. It's WayneD.com. Today I want to look at the swing of Sam Snead, which I think is misunderstood. One of the reasons why I want to go over his swing again is the interest now in a swing theory that has the idea that in the downswing, the first move forward would be purely rotational, and so you get what is called the Snead squat, which is this is what we're looking at right here. Right, so the question is the right leg holding or staying perfectly in place with the downswing starting with a twist or just a spin, or is there actually lateral movement involved? So Snead is a very interesting study. It's pretty obvious from the face-on views that once he would load to the right, and you can see how because he let his left leg move inward so much, how he loses ground against the left side of the proverbial barrel. So he's definitely inside the barrel on the right side, but on the left side he has slid off of that. Now he's going to watch him recover that, and watch how quickly he's recovering that. So that's one thing to take into consideration, that he is not simply staying where he is. If he was, this would be his box, and he would spin inside of that and then push, but he's going to push and twist at the same time, which is pretty classic. So why does that appear that his right leg is moving differently than most? Well, you have to look at Snead from down the line. So here it looks like the camera's way off, but the cameraman is actually pretty close to the target line if you watch where this ball takes off. So here's the ball, and now the ball's going to take off in this direction. But when we look at the feet, it's like, whoa, looks like he's aiming out here somewhere. So Snead was in effect what one of the golf magazine writers called him as a pull hitter. So he always set up his longer clubs with a closed stance. So here's another example of Snead from the tee. So check this one out. It's pretty apparent here how much that right foot is dropped back, and not only is it drawn back, it's way flared. So if you take a swing with a stance where the right foot is pulled back that much, and flare your foot out, and then take a huge hip turn where you let the left leg come in as much as you want, almost. And also note that at address, Snead has very, very little knee flex. So by the time he gets to the top and starts forward, what's he going to do? He's going to add flex, right? So he's adding flexion into his right leg. So the combination of those things, where that hip is so externally rotated back there, and you got the knee, same thing. You got the foot turned out so much. So think about how far this has to go to come back and get around. Also, if he takes the club from inward and across the line, how's he going to get everything back onto the plane? Well, it's pretty simple. He's going to move the hands out toward the ball more, and he's going to try to rotate to get his upper body back in front. So you can really see that here in this swing. Again, he's a little younger here, so he's going to move that thing back in front of him, flatten the shaft, and it really does appear like he's just spinning around, but you can see it from that front view. So as soon as I draw those lines on his hips, you know that he is not just spinning. He's moving forward off the brace of the right leg, but the knee and the leg are so rotated that it just takes them a while to gain that internal rotation, that the first thing the knee appears to do is to stay where it is. And then he's really going to use the muscles in his left leg, the adductors, to straighten that leg up, push up off the ground. So he's using the glutes, he's using the inside of the leg, and then he's driving that right leg up into the left. So this is all classic, great leg action. But the difference there is in the setup and what that requires him to do once he makes that big turn. So here's another shot of him from face on. And again, just to note where the hips are at address, you can see a little give in the left. Now you would think that if he was just going to spin first, he would stay pretty much right up against the box here. Let's see if that happens. Not at all. So he's over this way. And if you look, so that's the net movement, but if you look at the gross movement from where he was at the top, that's quite a bit of lateral. So this idea of centering and squatting is not correct to me. I see just about every great ball striker is going to take the right leg position at the top of the swing, and the movement is going to be a combination of rotation and lateral movement. The lateral movement comes from a linear push. You push against the ground back this way, it's going to drive everything this way, and then the torque in the backswing is going this way. When it reverses, it's now going the other way, and that's going to take the pelvis and start to rotate it as it's driving immediately. So as we see with most of the great players, the furthest left point is going to be right around P5.5, and then he's going to finish right up against that spot with his belt buckle. Again, this is just classic hip stuff. Alright, so that's why I think that everybody wants to be careful when they think that they want to start the downswing without lateral movement. Just combine your lateral movement with rotation, and it's going to work out for you. And you have to consider the way Snead's set up when you look at his swing.